in a very easy, simple put way, what God was trying to say from the very first thought he had was that he loves himself unconditionally. I know that makes no sense, but because he wanted to experience unconditional love, he had to create everything that he's created. The sun, the moon, the stars, everything had to be created in order to give compassion and true emotion and true feeling to a real, living, physical thing, so it could explain it to him in all sensation, in all ideas, in all spirituality, in all dream realm, in all possible concoctions of ideas. God had to invent and create all the things he created in order to be told by a living, breathing source what he came from. The Bible was a mistake, but it was a good try. I don't knock the Bible on purpose. It's not the whole truth. It's some of the truth. It's on one spiritual plane, and that's why people that are religious will stick behind it, because they have experienced movements in their life, but it's because they've believed so strongly in that vision of their God that vision of God was like, okay, I guess this might help me realize what I really am. And then he got to the point where he was like, well, then prove it. What's going on with you people? Why can't anybody prove what they're talking about? I know this Jesus guy, but he's not as righteous as you think he is as a human. He was just a human, and he thought that he was the son of God. He didn't know that he was God, and then when he did finally realize that he was God, people wouldn't understand what he meant, so they crucified him. And because he knew that he would live on forever in a beam of light and be part of every person that's there, just like every person who's ever lived is part of you. One of your cells has a soul DNA combined of everything and everyone who's ever lived. Black, white, red, Puerto Rican, Japanese, they're all parts of you. They're all parts of me. They're all parts of the cement. It makes no sense, but it all comes from the same thing. It all comes from unconditional love, wanting to experience unconditional love. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's why Dan trying to experience Dan happens on an everyday basis. Sarah trying to experience Sarah happens on an everyday, every second basis. God trying to experience God in every form happens on an every second basis. Unconditional love. The idea of unconditional love is trying to experience the idea of unconditional love on an everyday basis. The feeling of unconditional love, the sensation of unconditional love, the product of unconditional love, the hurt and pain that can come from unconditional love is trying to experience itself on an everyday basis. And that's what God is. But in every form of every being, of everything, trying to experience what we've named its idea being what it is. Like it's trying to, like a piece of paper trying to experience that it's a piece of paper. Sounds funny, but it's trying to experience what it is. And a piece of paper doesn't have the brain to know that it comes from a tree, but it has this weird spiritual recognition, so it knows that a tree must be its godfather or its father, wherever it came from. Like we know that, some people say, oh, the tree gods. Well, the tree god. The tree is my spiritual follower. We have this symbol that we follow because somewhere along the line somebody thought God was telling them that part of a raccoon is their spirit animal. Well, guess what? They're all their spiritual animal. But that person just depicted it wrong and got it wrong and understood the sign wrong. Like my spirit animal is every animal. My spirit sign is every sign. I was born April 16th in this body, but I was born every millisecond. I'm being born again right now all over the world, I'm being made into paper. I'm being made into crayons. I'm being made into every inch of anything. Every morsel of fiber that is being made is me trying to understand the morsel of fiber that I've been being made into. And once people start doing what Dan's doing and increasing their mind, they'll understand how to communicate with everything, how to communicate with molecules and particles and the quark that is broken into a billion quarks. The size of a quark broken into something that's a quark compared to a quark. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you tune into this vibration, it's going to happen. So, I love you guys. I really have to go. Peace.